All right, hello and welcome back. It's your boy Hank Hackerson at Hank Hacks Hackers, your favorite network and system attacker. And I guess we can call ourselves protectors as well, since we're studying, network security and cybersecurity and security analyst and all that stuff. Today's video is going to be about the Hive Project, which is a security incident response platform to report investigation findings and all the things that we're going to find. This is going to be a part of the SOC Level 1 pathway of TryHackMe under the Digital Forensics and Incident Response module. And we're almost done with this module. We got a couple more to go, including the video from today. And yeah, we're going to be talking about the Hive, which basically has the features and integrations pieces to it, the user profile and permissions, analyst interface navigation, and then the conclusion of the room, as well as the introduction of the room. And yeah, that's kind of the gist of what we're going to be talking about today. If you are studying for your security analyst or SOC Level 1 certification, anything of the sort, or maybe even your pen tester or junior pen tester, or any of those things, I would invite you to, and I highly recommend that you follow this channel, mainly because of the fact that this is literally all we talk about on this channel. We are going to be talking about security analysis and ethical hacking and pen testing and all that. And I respond to all of the questions that come in through the comments. So we're growing a nice sized community, and it's all about cybersecurity and ethical hacking. And I think you'll get a lot out of it. And more than that, I mean, I would very much love to have you as a part of our community. I think it would be amazing for us to go through this journey together. And there are videos on rooms that I've completed before, but then there's videos like the ones today on rooms that I haven't completed. So we actually go through these things together and we learn about these things together. So it would be really nice to have you as a part of the community. And I think it'll actually be very valuable to you to join our community. So we would love to have you. All right, without further ado, let's jump into the room outline here, the intro to this room. I guess it's a little bit different than the room outline. The Hive Project is basically a security incident response platform, which from what it sounds like, it's kind of like a collective, like it's a hive, right? So it's like a bunch of people coming together and updating. That's what I think. I'm not sure. We're going to go into the introduction and we'll probably find that out. But so, we're going to find out what it actually is. That's probably a good one. The overview of the functionalities and integrations of the platform, installing it, navigating to the UI or navigating the UI, the user interface, and creating a case for an assessment and so on and so forth. And things like this are super useful because it builds a community for cybersecurity professionals so that you can go and find other people that may have dealt with what you're dealing with, or create cases that other people can create inputs on. There were a lot of things that we've already gone through for this pathway that resemble this kind of a structure or this kind of a program where a bunch of people come together and they update the overall database of vulnerabilities and attacks and things like that. So this is the Hive, and let's look at what the introduction says, how that is different from the room outline. The introduction is as follows. So it's the Hive Project is a scalable, open source, and freely available security incident response platform designed to assist analysts and practitioners working in security operations centers, CSIRTs and CERTs, to track, investigate, and act upon identified security incidents in a swift and collaborative manner. So that's exactly what I thought it was going to be. I didn't say it as professionally as they did, but that's basically what it is. It's like a community, essentially, that all the security analysts come through and they update cases and maybe even help each other on cases. So I think that's actually really cool. We can collaborate on investigations simultaneously, ensuring real-time information pertaining to new or existing cases, tasks, observables, and IOCs. It's like a social media platform for security analysts. That's basically what it is. More information can be found at thehiveproject.org and their GitHub repo. So this is their website. Look at this, security incident response for the masses. Looks pretty cool. Collaborate, elaborate, act. There's the Cortex I mean, I love stuff like this. Genuinely, I really love stuff like this. These guys look so similar. They could literally be brothers. But stuff like this is what makes this world much bigger than, you sitting in front of your computer or me sitting in front of my computer. It becomes this entire industry and collaborative movement where people can join forces, because there's a lot of people on the other side of this thing, the black hat and the red hat hackers that are genuinely on the exploitation and attacking side and the hacking side of this world, where they're actually trying to do some serious damage, and they work in organizations and in teams as well. So it's nice to have a team on the defensive side that we can collaborate with, and just an entire world that we can work together with, so that we can combine forces, so to speak. This is what the UI looks like, just the dashboard for the cases right here. It operates under the guide of 3 core functions: collaboration, elaboration, and action. So multiple analysts from one organization can work together through its live stream capabilities. Everybody can keep an eye on the case in real time. Investigations correspond to cases. The details of each case can be broken down into associated tasks, which can be created from scratch or through a template engine. Additionally, analysts can record their progress, attach artifacts and evidence, and assign tasks effortlessly. And then, of course, acting. So a quick triaging process can be supported by allowing analysts to add observables to their cases, leveraging tags and flagging IOCs and identifying previously seen observables to feed their threat intel. So pretty cool. It's very much like a social media platform for cybersecurity analysts. So let's look at the features and integrations of the Hive project. All right, the Hive allows analysts from one organization to work together on the same case simultaneously. Okay, so it's not an open world kind of thing. You have to be on the same organization. This is due to the rich feature set, so on and so forth. So we have case task management, alert triage, observable enrichment with the Cortex. So these two kind of are self-explanatory from the title. This one is a little bit interesting. So one of the main feature integrations is the Cortex, an observable analysis and active response engine. It allows analysts to collect more information from threat indicators by performing correlation analysis and developing patterns from the cases. Okay, interesting. So it's like, the frontal cortex of a brain. I guess this is kind of what it's supposed to resemble. And the whole theme of this is like a hive of bees come together and they create this massive thing. So a hive of analysts would come together and work on the same project, and so on and so forth. So this is it's cool that just to kind of skim through this also, you can import cases from the SIM, from your security information and event manager, email reports, so on and so forth. Every investigation is meant to correspond to a case. So, and then we have the Cortex that we just went through. Active response allows analysts to use responders and run active actions to communicate, share information, custom dashboards, and then built-in MISP. So MISP is another, it was a cyber threat database, kind of a threat sharing thing that we did at the beginning of this path, where we went towards the very, very beginning. It was Cyber Defense Framework. That's what it is. So MISP, or no, it's Cyber Threat Intelligence. Yeah, that's what I was right. So MISP is under the Cyber Threat Intelligence module, and there's a video on it. So you can go find that video. And then there's another video on OpenCTI. And these are places that you can go and find information about data, not information about data, excuse me, information about attacks that have previously taken place, or trying to find data on those attacks. And it's very, very comprehensive. There's a lot of stuff that's inside of these things. So it's great for threat intelligence and just kind of going to a place to see if you can find anything that might relate to what you or your organization is going through. So it has integration with MISP, which is great. So another notable integration or other notable integrations would be the Digital Shadows 2th, which I have not heard of, and then ZeroFox 2th I have not heard of, and then so these are free and open source extensions of these two companies. The integrations ensure that alerts can be added to the Hive and transformed. So you have this is the Digital Shadows GitHub repository, and this is the ZeroFox GitHub repository. And I guess we can also integrate those repositories with our TheHive projects. So which open source platform supports the analysis of observables within the Hive? I think that's the Cortex, right? So one major the Hive supports is Cortex and observable analysis, yeah. So it is the Cortex. Very good. Okay. Now let's move on to the user profiles and permissions, and that actually requires us to start a machine, and I've already started the machine. So we're going to be able to access this via our web browser on our attack box. So I'm going to load that up, and then we're going to go into some of the details of this thing. All right, we are logged in. All we had to do was just go to the IP address that was provided to us, /index.html, and then it asked us to log in, and the login information was right here at the bottom. Right here is where they give us the login information for this channel, or for this machine, excuse me. So that's one of the other great benefits of TryHackMe, is that a lot of these things, I mean, they come kind of set up and just ready for you to use. So it's one of the many reasons why I love this freaking website and this company so much. Okay, so we have, let's just go over some of the basic things here. So we have the create an organization group to identify analysts and assign different roles based on a list. So you can create an organization. Pre-configured user profiles are admin, organization admin, analyst, and read-only. And those, I mean, they're pretty standard, right? So admin would probably be the highest in the food chain. Organization admin manages users and all the other things, but probably can't do the things that admin can do. And then you have the analyst that can create and edit tasks, cases, so on and so forth. And then there's the read-only permissions that you can just only read things and you can't do jack apart from that. Then each user profile has a predefined list of permissions that would allow them to do different things. So very similar to Active Directory, where you can have group policy, objects, or organizational permissions, or organizational unit permissions, so on and so forth. This is very similar to that. And then this is the full list of the things. So I'm not going to go through this whole thing right now and read it one by one. You're more than welcome to, pause the screen as I kind of slowly go through this if you want to read this. But we're probably going to have to answer some of the questions that are about to come up right after we're done with this, and we're probably going to need to use some of these things to answer those questions, or maybe even inside of the lab activity itself. So it says, note that organizations 1 configuration profiles and tags are global objects. These the related permissions are effective only on the admin organization, and then actions, analysis, and templates are available only if the Cortex connector is enabled. Okay. In addition to new profiles, an admin can perform other operations such as creating case, custom fields, custom observable types, custom analyzer templates, and importing TTPs from the attack frameworks, so on and so forth. And this is where, you can even use the Modder attack framework. That's pretty crazy. I mean, not crazy, but, it's awesome. Awesome, I think, is the word I was looking for. And it's already inherent in it, which is just super useful, very, very useful. So now here it comes to deploying it and answering these questions. So which configured account cannot manage any cases? So which configured account cannot manage any cases? So let's go look up here at our accounts here. And let's see what we can do. So admins, interestingly enough, can't manage any cases or other data related to it, but they can do administrative permissions on the platform. So it's a different level of permissions for admins and org admins. And admin is what they're looking for, not admins. And then we have which permission allows a user to create, update, or delete observables. And that's going to be the analyst. It was, what is it? Or no, actually, create, edit cases, observables. That is the org admin. So we're just gonna, I'll just copy this and make it super easy for us. I'm gonna go all the way down here. Org admin, although that seems like it's too short of an answer. So which permission, excuse me, allows a user to create, update, or delete observables. So permission that allows you to create, update, and delete observables is right here. And that's manage observable. That is what that is. So there's that. And which permission allows a user to execute actions. So let's go find that. Execute actions right at the bottom here, and it's manage action. And that is the answer to this. We didn't even need to go through the website, which kind of seems a little bit disappointing in a way, honestly. Kind of wanted to do this, but let's see what we can do. Well, let's see. Maybe we'll kind of go through it for the next task. And it seems like we have to download task files to use that for the analysis and everything else. Yeah, so that's for sure what we're gonna do. So we actually do get to use the website. We just had to move on to the next task. So task 5, analyst interface navigation is what we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm just gonna open this up in a new browser tab just to make it a little bit easier to manage here. And we'll kind of shrink this down over here. The first part of this is that we're going to create a new case, and we're going to update the information of our new case like this. So suspected data exfiltration over FTP. It's a high severity. TLP is, I can't really read what that is. And then we do data exfiltration and FTP for our tags. So, and then you just add kind of a generic description, I guess. And it says it right here. So you have the severity. This showcases the level of impact incident being investigated as the environment from low to critical. TLP is the traffic light protocol, and it's a set of designations to ensure that the sensitive information is shared with the appropriate audience. And the range of colors represents a scale between full disclosure on information, which is white, and no disclosure or restricted, which is red. You can find more information about this stuff at the CISO website. And then we have the permissible actions protocol, and it's used to indicate what an analyst can do with the information, whether the attacker can detect the current analysis state or defensive actions in place. It uses color scheme, so on and so forth. So, you create the name of it. The severity is high. It's red, so that no access. The PAP is going to be, what is that? I can't tell. It's not white, green, and then there's red, so I don't know what the other one is. So first, let's just go create a new case real quick, and then from here we can kind of go and figure the rest of this stuff out. So no case selected, okay. And what we want to do is we want to create a new case by creating new case, and then it is, what did he name it? Suspected data over FTP. Okay, and then we have a high severity, it was red, and then amber. That's what this looks like. That's what that means, amber. Tags are going to be FTP, and then data, exfiltration, and then this. Just like that. And what else did he do? I don't think he did anything else apart from that. Right, investigate source and destination IPs, identify source, assign case TTPs. So let's do that. Oh crap! I forgot to add the rest of them. When you press enter, it saves the whole thing. So there's that. I guess I could probably edit this in some capacity. So let's try to edit this real quick. So we can edit it under the tasks. So I can just add a task, and the task title is going to be assign TTPs, and then make sure we just check it and just add it. There we go. So assign TTPs, investigate source and destination IPs. Let's add another one. There we go. And then I forget what the other one was, but whatever. Okay, so we have our case, and then in the visual we can add the corresponding tactic and technique associated. So the TTPs are important for MITRE, and in this case it's exfiltration, and we went under exfiltration over alternative protocol and exfiltration non-C2, and then add that. So that was done under the TTPs. So we go under TTPs, we add a TTP, and we look for exfiltration. It's going to bring a bunch of stuff, and exfiltration over alternative protocol. And this is the third one that they added, which is the exfiltration over unencrypted, obfuscated, non-C2 protocol. That's the one that they added. So we'll add that one too. And let's see from here, what else? That's pretty much it. So moving on to the next one. Case observables will be added from the observable tabs, and you'll have to indicate the following details. So these are all of the stuff. I don't know if we have to do this for our task, but this is what you can do. So the type, the value, one observable per line, one single multi-line observable, TLP, the IOC, it is an IOC is kind of what that is, has been cited, ignore for similarity, tags, and description. So the observable data type, observable value, and these are some examples here, right? So if it's the observable data type, IP address, hash domain, the observable value would be the IP addresses, obviously. One observable per line in the value field, create one observable no matter the number of lines, and this could be like a long URL. Define the way that the information should be shared. Check if this is considered to be an indicator of compromise, and then the emotet IP is that specific indicator. Has this observable been cited on your information system? Do not correlate this with other similar observables, insightful information tags, malware, such and such. And that's it. There's a description of it, obviously. In this scenario, we're adding the IP address 192.168.2342 as our IP. Depending on the situation of your analysis, this can be marked as an IOC or not. And then that's it. So where are the TTPs imported from? And this is going to be from MITRE attack. According to the framework, what type of detection data source would our investigation be classified under? So according to the framework, what type of detection data source would our investigation be classified under? Oh, right. So I had to actually email myself the PCAP file because for some reason it wasn't available in this machine. So once I downloaded the PCAP file, this is the information that we got when we open it. So it opens up inside of Wireshark, and now using the information that we have here, there are 230 packets as it says over here. We need to find out what type of attack that we went under. Obviously it's FTP is the name of the PCAP, so it has to do with FTP, but we need to kind of go through this information just to see what has happened and what's going on. So let's see what we can find here. Okay, so just looking at the generic information that's available in our info section of this PCAP file, we can pull a few different, I would say, speculations from this thing. So obviously they're doing specific attacks, not attacks, but queries or inquiries against our SSH and FTP ports. And so this is coming from the same IP address. So the IP address ending in 2342. And so if we go into this and just look at this, we don't really even need to use any display filters, honestly. Because you see that, you know, at first they tried to do against port 22, but then every other transaction was happening against port 21. And the server responds, then they make a request for the user anonymous, and the server responds with a password required for anonymous, and then so they attempt to use the password mozilla@example.com, and it's incorrect, and then they make several other inquiries using different ports. So they're using different request ports but it's going against either our FTP port or our SSH port. And then you go down here from the same port to the SSH port multiple times in a row where there is a request being made. And these are all TCP port requests because they're all going towards port 22, which is the SSH port. And then you just see these FTP ones. So I guess the one thing that we can do is we could just go and search specifically for FTP just so we can view what's available only with FTP protocols. And now it went from the 230 packets that were originally displayed to 72 packets being displayed. And then we can look at it a little bit clearer where you can see that, you know, the original request for anonymous, the password, and then it was login incorrect. And then they make another request with the user Pi, and then they send a password raspberry, and they actually were able to log in with the user Pi. And then they make a system request, and the response is, okay, well, so, you know, this is a Unix type L8 FTP server. Then they do a feature request to see what features are available inside of our server, our FTP server. They do a print working directory, and they get a response that they're in the home directory for Pi. And then they make another type request to turn it into I. Basically, I believe it's interactive. And then they make a request to turn it into a passive mode. And from here, get the current working directory, make a list request to list what's actually available inside the directory. And from there, they transfer something. And so it says that the transfer was complete. The Pro FTP server was queried again, and they used the user anonymous again. And in this case, again, it was still incorrect. And so user Pi again. And in this case, they were able to log in again, and they did essentially the same series of steps and went back and forth. And at the very end of it, there was a home Pi flag.txt file that was queried, and from there they were able to request that and actually receive that response and get that retrieved file, that flag.txt file, and it was completed. The transfer was completed. So they were looking for this flag.txt file, and something that we can do is we can go and export the objects that are attached to this, and it could be the TFTP objects, I believe, or maybe it's not there. So let's see if there's a way that I can actually export these, or if maybe we could just even look at them as the clear text version of this. So let's see what we can find here. Okay, so I couldn't extract the file from the actual Wireshark. The question itself, actually, the way that they've set up the questions here, number one, they just want to know what data source our investigation would be classified under, and then what the flag would be if we actually just went to that flag HTML. So first we're going to try to find the data source. And so when I go into the Hive right here, and then under the TTPs tab that we had over here, I click on that and then go under exfiltration, because they were able to exfiltrate that TXT file, that flag TXT file. And then we go to exfiltration over alternative protocol, and then click this little thing right here, this little square with the arrow on it, and it opens it for us inside of a new tab, and we're actually now inside the MITRE attack framework under the techniques section. And then if you just go down under here, under detection, there is several data sources that are available here. So it could be cloud storage, it could be network traffic, so on and so forth. And so specifically what we're looking for is data that was extracted from FTP through a network connection. So it could either be the network traffic data source, or it could be the cloud storage data source. I want to, just at first glance, I would probably say that it's through the network traffic, but let's read through these and see what we can actually find over here. Clicking further into the under exfiltration, if we go under exfiltration over unencrypted non-C2 protocol, in this particular case, the detection sources, the data sources kind of get shrunken down a little bit, and we lose the cloud storage portion of it, and we can kind of narrow down a little bit more into it could either be file access, or it could be network traffic, monitor files viewed in isolation that may steal data by exfiltrating over systematically encrypted. And then we have the other one under network traffic, where network traffic content, I think. So let's try it. I'm just going to try one and see what it is. I want to say that it's network traffic. Yeah, it is network traffic. Okay, great. So according to the framework, the data source for our investigation would be under network traffic because they're, on the FTP port in our network, traffic being, data being exfiltrated. So now we need to go into this link right here and try to find that flag. So I'm just gonna copy this link and go into our browser, our Firefox browser inside the attack box, and it says failed to connect. I think it's because there's an extra / and it's also saying failed to connect. Okay, so let's see how we can extract this flag HTML file here. All right, so they're saying that we actually need to upload the PCAP as an observable, and I already did that. So if I go over here and let me cancel this part out and go to our observables, I did upload the PCAP here. So if I click on file, let's see if anything shows up here. If we open the PCAP, let's see if anything shows up here. Okay, so looking at the information of this observable, there's nothing here for us to analyze. So I think maybe the issue might be because the original thing is on an HTTP. It's not HTTPS. It might be that this particular thing, the issue for it is that it's trying to load an HTTPS. Yeah, okay, there you go. So if we just do HTTP instead of the HTTPS, then we have the flag. And just like that, we were able to extract the flag. And just like that, voila, we have our flag. So nice, there we go. We finished this task and our little exercise using the Hive, which is, I think it's cool if you have an organization and you guys are all working on the same thing. There's the section on the right where all of the tasks that we wanted to get done are now here, and everything that we did for this project is now here for this case. So it's cool. It's just for this particular example, we didn't really have much use for it, but it is cool to use. I think this would be a very, very cool version of a social platform or some kind of a community hub that you could use with your organization to share case files and ideas and updates and things like that. So that was it for Analyst Interface Navigation. And the conclusion of the room, very simple. We've now reached the end of the Hive project. Hopefully we can kind of understand how the incident response management is done using the Hive, and now we can kind of experiment with this a little bit if we wanted to. I'm pretty good on wanting to go ahead and further explain with this because I do want to go into another recording. Today's my recording day, so I can record a bunch of videos for you guys. So that was it for the Hive project. If you learned anything from this video in regards to the Hive project room or the platform itself, or if you're studying for your SOC Level 1 security analyst certification or Pentest Plus or any of those ethical hacker, any of that stuff, please go ahead and subscribe and turn on that notification bell so that you get notified the next time a video comes out, because literally all we talk about on this channel has to do with pen testing, ethical hacking, security analysis, and all that good stuff. And currently the platform that we're using is TryHackMe, but once I finish everything that's inside TryHackMe, you better believe that I'm going to be moving on to other platforms that also offer education about ethical hacking and cybersecurity and all that good stuff. So would love to have you as a part of the community. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment section below. I will answer your questions in as much detail as possible. And if you have a really juicy question, I may even create a video just for you for your question. So it'll be fun to have you as a part of our community, and I think you'll get a lot of value out of it. And that is it for this room. It's your boy Hank Hackerson at Hank Hacks Hackers, your favorite network and system attacker. I hope you enjoyed it. I will definitely see you in the next one. Love, peace, and chicken grease. If no one else loves you, Hank loves you. I'll see you in the next room. Later.